Good afternoon, Dr. Tiko. This PowerPoint presentation is based on ED152 Assignment 2. The topic is Theories of Human Development in the Western World and in my socio-cultural context. Human development is the life cycle of a person from birth to the old age. It is the way in which human needs to understand its own life experience and also to help others know what they've gone through and the relation of their society and individual growth. Slide 1. Slide 1 will principally present the distinctive perspective on hypotheses on human improvement state in social setting. It will inhabit distinctive perspective on human improvement through the nearby and social way upon social setting. Human improvement depicts diverse articulation on how human cooperation had on social setting, how the extension cycle started and the progression happens from birth to the mature age. As you can see from the main slide, it shows the image of human tense of event. It as features how an individual started to encounter its human improvement from the birth to death, which basically present how a daily extension pattern of human tends to event. Slide 2. Slide 2 is based on social cultural context. It is the process of human development in states where humans had a great opportunity to improve their well-being. According to slide 2, it shows human development process. The pictures on the slide shows a human development process in improving human capabilities of, for example, in the slide, it states the standard of living in human lives, have a healthy life and chances of knowledge that a person developing states. Human development is the process of life that person have in adapt through their social interaction and how they have been cooperate to send new ideas. Human develop is the process that teaches human to have better living, to participate in community activities, in promoting the social right and equity in supporting their lives. Slide 3. Slide 3 talks about the Western theories of development. Slide 3 emphasizes human development in social, cultural context. It has demonstrated how human development, social, cultural contexts have been issues that happen through environment on daily lifespan. The teaching that parents have through within the children or respect, their conduct, work, and diverse social setting. Figure 1 shows the social setting on how humans have been impacted on the general climate. However, daily lifespan in the cultural context help develop the relationship through respect and the beliefs that a person has towards the community. Cooperation and the roles a person have is to develop their ideas and works that needs to be done together. According to the slide, it shows how social interaction is the fact on daily lifespan that people have been influenced by Western culture of, for instance, education is one of the main factors that change person life. For example, school-based is one of the areas where children go there to learn and are affected from the environment which change the mindset through behavior and learning which have been given to them and change their practice of realizing, which implies they create more from what have been taught back in their home. Human development is the cultural context as an important role in lifespan for a person as it improves from the childhood state, where a child must understand its identity, such as respect, love, care towards one another. Slide 4. Slide 4 talks about the Western theories. So, it is advertised how humans keep the system of being contemplating the phase of life from human development, improvement, and the discovering the experience from the environment part, which is the state it brought up what they should know, and the condition of figure influence the way which individuals live or work, particularly with respect to their prosperity. Slide 4 depended on the speculation of improvement in Western culture. Aspect those hypotheses I have picked for, which Pickett hypothesis, Erikson hypothesis, and Foyt-Sky theory and Freud physiosexual phase of improvement. Figure 1.1 shows Pickett physiological theory that proposes 4 phases of advertisement with a record underneath. The first stage is scenario models. From this state, the child was from the age of 0 to 2 years old, which began to experience the world through the way of senses and action, looking, hearing and touching, mouthing or grasping from the environment around him. Proportional state is the second stage in Pickett's theory, from the age of 2 to 6 or 7 years old, where the child started to recognize and learn things around them. This stage is when many children learn to interact themselves with things that build up them understand, such as playing with items, and learn to figure out things such as land transport and air transport. So from this, Pickett assumed that a child can make certain things from wall and items, words and items that are playing with, which began to develop in human development states. Concrete states, operational state is the third stage, began from 7 to 12, which is the stage that the child learns to communicate with each other. It determines the children from these stages are child that from the operational thought. A child began to differentiate two variables, which made him she think beyond from what is put out or learned inside the classroom, which try to figure out the difference and fact in appearance as change. Formal operational state is the last stage for Pickett. So from this stage is the process in human development when a child has reached the adult age of the stage. However, from this period, child have a capacity to build up in mind with ideas that more from what I've experienced earlier. Therefore, in the local culture, I would state my opinion same as Pickett about the 4 states of human. Human development from age of 0 is when a child can interact with things around the environment by playing games, mindful and cherishing the flocks provide from the term way as provisional state is the point at which a youngest can interact themselves with playing games or figure items. Concrete is when a child began to differentiate two variables that made him she think beyond from what is put or learn, which changed the appearance. For instance, from the slide, it shows the local context. It shows the local context for a little boy in school. Little boy in school is reading something on the board. In addition, from Pickett last development state is formal operational state is when every human develop to the adulthood state which build their mind with ideas that more from what I've learned earlier from the 3 first states. For instance, from my local context, it showed a picture of some student that have been participate on youth parliament, which help to motivate their human development to think broad from what I've learned earlier that was organized by the member of parliament. Slide 5 shows the second theory of development, which is Erikson personality development. So from this slide, it shows Erikson individual phrase of advertisement. It has showed the human improvement in 8 phrase from his view on improvement. He underlined Erikson individual phrase of advertisement from the early stages to adulthood. Erikson confirmed that each stage that individual have is the point at which they experience physiosocial emergency, which they could be a positive or pessimistic result from character advertisement. Consequently, here are the 8 phrases that record underneath. So the first stage is trust versus mistrust. So It is from birth to 1 year old. Trust phase mistress is the principal stage in Erickson hypothesis from its advertisement stage. These stages started from birth as long as years and they are whole enough that the baby may create its experience of progression that happened from its human advertisement state. It is the main time frame from youngest life as it shapes the perspective on the world and the general character. So the second stage is self-role phase diagram and doubt month to 2 to 3 years. Self-role phase digress and uncertainty is the second phase of Erickson of its 10 of event. It happened between the age of years and around the time of 2 to 3 years. Anyway, from this stage it expressed that youngest are primarily centered around creating and needs more restraint. For instance, the significant undertaking was selecting a own garment, dressing itself, and picking which toys she liked without anyone else. So the third stage is drive phase blame from 12 to 18 years old. Drive phase blame is the third phase of Erickson improvement. During this stage, kids graduate themselves routinely through coordinating, playing, and other social association. For example, preschool stage, which remember numerous kids for the age scope of 3 to 6. The fourth stage is the industry phase, model creative from age 6 to 11 years old. Industry phase mediocrity stage is when youngest become more powerful in performing complex undertaking according the improvement stage of advertised to dominate new abilities and the battle to create through from the stage with sensation of disappointment and loneliness. So the fifth stage is the character phase, dimerized from 12 to 18 years old. Personality phase, this is the fifth stage of Erickson that happened during pre-adulthood between the age of 12 and 18. During this stage, it started to investigate their autonomy and create and twisted inclination. So the sixth stage is coalescence phases, synchronization from 18 to 40 years of age. So it is the stage where Erickson approved that the stage occurs during youthful adult between the age of 18 to 40, which the passionate and inclined have been achievement and promotes satisfying connection. The seventh stage is kinetically is the seventh stage of Erickson advertisement. This stage the states happen during the sender adulthood between the age of 40 to 65, which confusion in gathering and support is calling addition to our missteps that assist with improving disappointment. For example, from the state it helps assemble individual from the disappointment and improve from what have been realized. The last stage is conscientious, honest, first clue. Uprightness, first, despite, is the eighth and the last phase of Erickson advertisement. This stage started at the age of 65 and upwards until death. Thusly, it has expressed that individuals from the states can pound the life and lament for not accomplish the objective will encounter sanitation of earnestness and hopelessness. To add on from the local context to Erickson development state is that it describes the relationship of a person where she developed from the infant state and to the adulthood states, which have social ideas and get interaction with the surrounding. As child get to explore things around him, it experience the change that children are from the development. So from the local context, it all apply to Erickson 8 states, which apply to the local age group, which enable them to develop their lifespan to have better living. Slide 6 talks about second development theory, which is Vygotsky's development theories. From this slide, it discusses about the advertisement of speculation that underlines three primary ideas identified with physiological improvement that shows on figure 1.3 about the extension cycle. It shows how the extension cycle started from social setting that the kids have ahead of time through learning and change. Figure 1.3 shows Vygotsky layout the fundamental ideas identified with physiosexual states, which culture is critical learning language and individual learn and create inside the part locally. Slide 7, it talks about Sigmund Freud theories, which is from his theory from the figure 1.4. It shows how Freud proposed the character advertisement of a young girl that happened during his 5 physiosexual states. Figure 1.3 shows the physiosexual state which the oral, burden, centrics, hallix, demoncy, and genetically states, which during its states human experience vibrations of human sex energy from various pieces of his body from youth to adulthood state. Slide 8, it discusses about how human improvement is significant from my neighborhood setting back in Vanuatu. So human advertisement is the cycle from the birth to the death age, which each human create from phrase to another from their life expectancy. Each human from virus society outfit up in virus climate, which is from my nearby setting, one of the fundamental factor to the advertisement as its youngest grow up should get familiar with certain things to help shape the human turn of event. This slide will take gender as human improvement by in one of the Pacific nation, Vanuatu, where it will discuss how human create have been raised from the neighborhood setting. Human improvement is the stage where each person comes to create from their lives from newborn child to the adulthood state. The progression events is the cycle of advertisement, which means without this interaction, nobody can endure. Notwithstanding, from the neighborhood setting, Vanuatu Vanuatu, the primary concern that add to human improvement is its youth grow up should know their character through culture, regard, love, and care from however the elders. For modern in figure 2, it shows a potential of the image taken from the social life expectancy of neither another individual and the youngest that have been taught by their grandparents since early flux. Individuals are individuals who find out about the phase of life where its kids should follow their equivalent method of life and learn to recognize. Its parents believe that if sending the kids to elderly individual or grandparents, they will learn beneficially things that will strive in life like regard and other customary accepts which help build up the progressions of human life experience. Figure 2 shows an image of an elderly person, shows kids how to draw sand drawing, attracting which assists them with learning and build up their accept on conventional life. Slide 9 talks about social context. So each human create from its cycle of life that started from baby. So human advertisement start from home where guidance of kids and are connected with the encompassing sense as it went to the age where it creates from the external climate. For example, going to class, experience childhood locally, and go to travel with adjust the perspective set from what have been gained from beginning phrase. Schooling is the Western culture which brought to Vanuatu by the highly investors and Westerners. It assumed a significant part in the nearby setting where kids create their insight and abilities. Youngest call to class have high limit of discovering that being, however, from the instructor and different elderly flocks. Figure 2.1 shows some images that taken which shows school base, which shows how youngest have been learned through senior individual or instruction at schooling base, which permit them to collaborate well. Additionally, as fact in school youngest upgrade through friendly association by means of by companies school exercise inside and outside the homeroom, bands, confession with the understudy, etc. Vanuatu is one of the districts in the Pacific where individuals have enthusiasms to work or connected together locally. Locally, where everybody set up and for a superior future. Every child grow up to be part of local society and learn to cooperate well back at home, school, and community. Religion is additionally a setting where a youngest build up his otherworldly life, and by going to chapel, it makes energy inside the kids to develop features and acknowledge right and wrong. Slide 10, last slide. It talks about the current perspective of human development. So in this slide, we take a gender at the current viewpoint of human trend of event. Presently, human improvement has changed a great deal because of new overload of advertisement in the advertisement setting. For instance, in customary joint family setting, kids was an absolutely responsibilities in which different cards were accessible. In the present family under unit, cards will undoubtedly send the kids to daycare focuses. In like way, the inhabit of portraying by grandparents is being taken over by TV. Feature 3 shows that kids cameraman now a day grow. All they quickly construct with past years, as you can see from the image. A young lady catching picture with construct with past years and offspring of age 2 to 6 don't have the focused idea how to utilize a camera yet. Kids are packing in social action as features of what they realize. They build up their abilities and through on the most proficient method to direct their own ways of life. Connection of youngest in friendly social setting has changed because of the materialization, industrialization, and civilization. Kids investigate all the more separate from what they buy in the nearby setting. For instance, as you can see from figure 3, it shows an image of a amazing child. They get a rabbit by achieving their parents' work. For instance, painting the wood utilizing painting necklace, reckless, washing the blades, and so forth. So this is the end of the presentation. So the 11th slide, it shows all the sources that taken from the internet, channel, and book. Thank you.